When I say game of the century to you, what comes to mind?
Probably the game we had 8 years ago. That was, I don't know how many players were on the field that actually went on to play in the NFL, but that was probably two of as good a teams as I can remember ever being involved in a game. And it was a great game here, and we lost this one and got a second chance in the national championship game.
45. 9 first-rounders. This will be the only time you say something and I'm able to give you a little bit of knowledge. That'll be a unique experience for you. What's it like to coach in a game like that, Nick, with all that swirl around? You've been in huge games, I get it, but a quote-unquote 1-2 game century, et cetera.
Well, I think the number one thing is to try to get the players to stay focused on what matters, which the implications of the game is not really what you want the players to be focused on, because you've heard me talk before about outcomes are distractions. That can be a distraction. So you don't prepare right, you don't prepare properly, you're not focused on the things that really matter to being able to execute in the game. So that's really what I try to emphasize with the players. Let's go practice and play as if we're going to play the best team we played. Yes, we respect that. And you're going to play against the best player you played against. But let's go do the things that we need to do to give ourselves the best opportunity to be successful.
Your clearest memory of that 9-6 game, what is it?
We lost. I mean, what else? So, but
one moment?
Not really.
Wow.
I know we missed a bunch of field goals, and we got the ball close to the red zone like 4 or 5 times in the game, and really only scored 6 points. So that is the one thing I probably remember most.
How much has the game changed from then to now?
I think pretty significantly. I really do. I know the way we play has changed dramatically. Of course, that's because of the players that we have. The way they play is a lot more like we play, in terms of spreading out, using the skill guys that they have, quarterback-oriented, which, he's played really well for them. So I think dramatically.
How have you changed as a coach since then, Nick?
I think each and every year, you find that the players are a little bit more, how does this impact me? I don't want to use the term self-absorbed, but I think that they want to know not just what you want me to do, but why is it important to do it that way, and how is it going to impact me? And I think I probably do more sort of selling that to try to keep people focused and motivated on doing things the right way, because you're just really kind of pointing out how it creates value for them and their future.
I know you put a lot of value in the last time you address a team during a week, but also your message to a team after they've come through a big game, win or lose. What was your message after 9-6 to the team?
Well, I think you don't want to waste failures. I've always used that when we play in big games. And you're not out of it. We're not really out of it. We have to continue to play well and see what comes of it for us. We don't control our own destiny anymore. But what we can control is how we play and how we finish the season. So if we do it the right way, maybe we'll get an opportunity. Some
topics to touch on this game. Nick, what has gone into the win streak here at Bryant-Denny? Why so effective at home?
That's a good question. I kind of pride myself as a coach to try to get the team to play well on the road, where it's much more difficult circumstances. But on the other side of it is, you're always trying to get the players to say, it's not playing at home or the stadium that you're playing in, it's the players on the field and how they play. And I think sometimes when you play at home, you kind of count on the emotion of the crowd and being at home, and as if the emphasis is not on really how we have to perform, but all these other things are going to be an advantage to us. And I don't think that's true. I think you have to execute and go out and do what you have to do. And of course, the crowd can help the emotional aspect of sort of, maintaining a motivation that's going to help you do that. But it's not something that you really should count on. I talk a lot about, being addicted to motivation. You know, people always looking for external factors, you know, to get them to want to do something. And, you know, how about self-determination? You know, I want to do it because I want to be good at it, you know, or I want to perform well. So, and I think it's dangerous, you know, when you go down that road of always counting on some external factor to get you to want to play well.
Couple on them. What have you seen from Joe Burrow on tape in terms of the challenges he presents, Nick?
Well, I think number one is, you know, they're spreading people out. They've got really good skill guys. They've got a good runner. I mean, this is as good an offense probably as we've had to face for a long time. I mean, one of the best. And he does a great job. He understands exactly what they're doing. Because people are spread out, it makes it a little easier to see. The defense has to declare itself, so he knows exactly what you're in, where to go with the ball, gets rid of it quickly. But where he's been most effective to me is when plays break down. He's been able to extend plays and make plays down the field, as well as convert critical third down situations by running, because he's such a good athlete. So you got to defend all of the above, which is, you know, a pretty difficult task.
How would you describe who he has in skill positions to use?
Well, the guys are really good competitors. You know, they play with toughness. They make a lot of contested catches. They have really good size. They've all had great hands. And they're physical. So you have to kind of try to match that, or, you know, it's like a guard playing a power forward to some degree in basketball. You know, it's just not going to work out really well for you. So they're a very talented group.
Your defense, how would you describe their growth from the first snap of the season to where we are right now, Nick?
Well, I think we've made progress. I think, you know, players have confidence when they are well prepared and they know exactly what to do. And I think when you play young players who are inexperienced, there's a lot of anxiety when they're not sure, or when they get presented with something in the game that's a little different maybe from what they practiced. So I think as the season has worn on, the experience has sort of developed, and I think the confidence level has also developed, and I think we've played with a little bit more consistency. But we're going to have a lot of different challenges in this particular game.
One area of improvement that you've been pleased with defensively?
Well, I think the inside backers, you know, which was because of the injuries and the loss of experience at those positions, we didn't even have anybody that they could look at and say, see that guy? That's how you're supposed to do it. I didn't have anybody that ever played at that position when these guys got hurt. So their progress and the way they sort of approached it has been really positive, because they've done it with a lot of maturity for young players.
What have you seen from Mac in terms of his game experience and confidence, Nick?
Well, I think last week Mac really approached the game. You know, I sat down and talked to him, and I said, look, you know, when you're backup quarterback for a long time, it's like being a sparring partner, you know, in boxing. Well, you're not that anymore. I mean, you're the main event. You're the guy. All right, so you got to act that way. I mean, you have to act that way in your team, in front of your teammates. You got to show some leadership. You can't, if you have a bad play, you can't kick the dirt and start talking to yourself about it, because that's going to affect everyone else playing around you. And you have to be aware of that. And he did a really, really good job of that. And he played within himself. I thought Sark did a really good job of putting a plan together that was not going to require him to do 1,000 different things. And he did those things extremely well.
What have you seen from Tua since he stepped on the practice field for these handful of practices, Nick?
Yeah, he's doing well. He's been able to operate, I think, a little better, because this is not the leg that his left foot is what he's always pushing off of as a left-hander. I think that's made it a little easier for him to develop some confidence. His mobility will be the big question. And every day that's improved dramatically. So we'll just see where it takes us.
How would you describe his attitude from the moment he had the injury against Tennessee to now?
You know, Tua is the most positive guy in the world. All right, so, you know, he's always looking for the silver lining. And he's always very positive. And I think, you know, his mentality is if I work hard and do things the right way, then things are going to work out. And that's how he approaches football. I think that's how he approached his injury. And I think he was a lot more positive this time around because he had the same injury a year ago. So he sort of knew what the challenges were going to be. And I think he approached it in a much more positive way. He wasn't as anxious about, you know, like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen here? Or when am I going to be able to come back? Or how long is it going to take? I think he kind of had a good feeling about it.
You've been consistent, game time decision. As you sit here now, what are your expectations for Tua?
I don't really have any. You know, what I've been trying to focus on is make sure that we get both guys ready to play as best we can. Because we really and truly don't know, and I'm not going to put Tua in a situation that could be detrimental to him or his future relative to his physical circumstance. So that's going to be a consideration as well.
What attention, if any, did you pay to the rankings that came out?
I didn't look at them yet, so I'm not sure where. I mean, I don't. I've been working today, not reading the paper, so I don't really know, but. Can you enlighten me a little bit on what's going on?
You don't know where you rank in the CFP's first rankings.
Because it's really not going to matter. I mean, it doesn't matter if you don't keep winning, so why worry about it? I mean, it's not where you are right now, it's where you end up. That's most important. So it doesn't really matter right now because if you're first and you lose, you're not going to be first for long. So, and if we're wherever we are, you know, we just got to keep on working and trying to improve the circumstance that we're in so that we have the best opportunity in the end.
What do you enjoy most, about a game like this?
Well, I think this is what competitors love to do. You know, you love the challenge of playing a great team, having the opportunity to see if you can get your team to play to their best, put them in a strategic position that's going to be helpful to them having success, go practice it, and see if you can get it right in the game enough times to have success. And I think if you're a great competitor, you love games like this. I mean, that's why you come to a place like Alabama so you can play in games like this, and I'm sure that's why guys went to LSU so they could play in games like this. So it's like playing in the playoffs, really. I mean, that's same kind of environment, same kind of, you know, if you're a competitor, you love it. If you're not, it makes you a little afraid. And if you're afraid, that might not be a good thing.
How do you coach through that fear? Not you, but coach your players through fear of failure.
Well, I think that everybody's motivated a little bit by failure. I mean, I don't think you can deny that. But what you want the players to do is be confident because of their preparation that when the game comes, they're going to be ready to go, and they're going to be confident because they know what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to do it and why it's important to do it that way. And I think that's what you try to strive for as a coach.
What's up? Thank you so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. Don't forget to download the ESPN app, and if you want more premium content, which you do, make sure that you subscribe to ESPN+. See you soon.